Good day and welcome back to another DB Legends video. In this video we are going to be taking a look at the Zenkai for the Super Saiyan Blue Vegeta Evolved unit and basically how good that Zenkai is in DB Legends. So basically we're going to be taking a look at that and just seeing how good his Zenkai is, and obviously just trying to get an idea of basically how good it is overall. But Vegeta Zenkai looks pretty good. I do want to preface it by saying that I don't think it's as good as it could have been, but it does look pretty good. So in terms of his ultimate skill, there has been a slight change here. Basically he's had a slight increase in the minus percentage to enemy CUT effects obtained from 50 to 60%, which is obviously pretty good. In terms of Final Flash, there hasn't been anything too crazy changed here. In fact, nothing's been changed. So generally speaking, it's remained the same. In terms of his main ability, again, just some minute changes, but nothing to his main ability either. So it looks like only really his ultimate skill so far has been adjusted. His special skill hasn't been adjusted either, so all of these have remained quite consistent. Then obviously in terms of his actual unique abilities, we'll get to that, but his Zenkai capabilities, or his Zenkai boost, is for Vegeta Clan and Yellow, which is decent, I want to say. It's obviously clearly a boost for the Trunks and Vegeta unit, who've now received a very good Fierce Fight free-to-play boost unit and a very good boost Zenkai unit as well. So it's very much obviously kind of inclined to pair with that, whereas Vegeta doesn't seem to pair or boost universal survival reps, which is obviously something most people thought would occur, but seems like it's not occurring. So yeah, it's pretty interesting from that perspective. Obviously I don't think there's too many other units that benefit from this, barring the Vegeta and Trunks. So we'll take a look, but I don't think there's too many notable other units that tend to benefit from this. Then in terms of his abilities, so obviously his standard base abilities don't appear to have changed at all. So Shattering Through the Limit and Sparking Power have not been adjusted, which is fine. Yeah, it's more than fine. It's very obviously their intention to not really adjust their base passives too much, and rather just add on with new passives. But yeah, he gets Blue Fighting Spirit once you get him to Adept Class Awakening. This allows you to gain additional buffs based on how long has passed since the start of the battle. So if 30 timer counts have elapsed, he restores health by 15%. If 50 counts have elapsed, he increases arts card draw speed by 1 level. This is pretty late into the fight. 50 timer counts isn't really straight away. It's not too soon into the fight, so it's not something you're going to get frequently unless your fights, obviously I think most fights, at least good fights, do tend to take longer than 50 timer counts. But it is notable that this arts card draw speed, which he probably really needed, only seems to appear then. And then finally he has Radiant Evolution, which gives him additional effects every time he defeats an enemy. Reduces their ki, restores his own vanishing gauge, inflicts all enemies with attribute downgrade plus 10% to damage, and applies the following effects when he enters the battlefield if there's a defeated battle member: health restoration and cancellation of his own abnormal conditions. This is pretty decent and allows him to kind of spiral a little bit should you manage to get a KO on an enemy. Allows you to somewhat keep him out there and hope that you can spiral it into another damage combo. But it's not anything too crazy. It's good, but he doesn't look insane. He looks good though. I think they are good changes across the board. I think they do make him more usable, of course. But yeah, it doesn't look like it makes him broken. In terms of how to obtain his Zenkai Awakening power, obviously a couple ways. the Zenkai Awakening boost, which you can summon on, the Awakening missions, which will give you 4,000, and the Battle Gauntlet, which will give you 3,000. And then after the event period, he will obviously be added to the Zenkai Ultra Space Time Rush store. So the missions that you can do are pretty simple. I don't think they are complicated at all. They're very, very, very simple missions. So kind of your standard Zenkai Awakening missions at this point. I don't think anyone will really disagree too much with that. Most of them seem to be very straightforward and very, very simple. So yeah, good stuff. Obviously the Battle Gauntlet is an event that you can do as well, and the Battle Gauntlet will be something obviously that allows you to grab 3,000 Zenkai Awakening power. The only real problem with the Zenkai Awakening power from Battle Gauntlet is it scales the further you go in. So if you're not getting far into the Battle Gauntlet, you're not going to come out with a lot of Zenkai Awakening power. You do rely on some of the Zenkai Awakening power to, obviously, well, what I mean is the further you get in the event, the more you get. So if you don't have a good team to get far in, you're not going to get a lot. So yeah, I think that is just something you have to be aware of. And then obviously there's no special booster or anything because he's an LF Zenkai. So yeah, I think for the most part, you're just going to have to kind of accept that as well. But yeah, that is basically it. Obviously, you can only Zenkai Awaken the unit if you actually have them at 7 stars. So if you don't see them here, that's the reason why, because these are now permanent. So that's kind of the restriction that they've placed there. But yeah, that is basically it. To cut a long story short, I don't think there's anything else to really cover. Obviously, in terms of the units that he boosts, there's only really like one major unit, I would say, that kind of counts at least, and that is obviously, Vegeta and Trunks. So obviously they get a huge boost. They're yellow, very good for them. Both of them are range type, so it's a very good synergy. The rest of the units I don't think are too noticeable. I guess Fierce Fight Trunks also gets a boost as well, who's a pretty decent Fierce Fight unit, but nothing too wild. But yeah, definitely a couple good Zenkai options in the form of Vegeta and Trunks. And I guess Super Vegeta, the bench option, is also pretty good. But that's going to be it from me. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, let me know. And let me know what you think about Vegeta and how good he's going to be. That's it from me. Bye.